board meeting of the Jefferson Elementary School District to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Ms. Covere, can you please call roll?
Andrea Jordan.
Here.
Shaquille Ali is absent. Eileen Policarpio.
Here.
Anthony Sujisaka is absent. Aaron Rashba.
Here. Thank you. Well, I would now like to invite the students from FDR and Thomas Edison who are here this evening to come up and lead us in the pledge.
Let me get you something to stand on. There you go. Can you make that?
I pledge of allegiance to do I do it? United States of America, to the republic, where it is, and in indivisible, and stand just and all.
Thank you. Okay. Approval of the agenda. The administration recommends approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Wonderful. Special presentations. So Franklin D. Roosevelt School highlights. Ms. Aubrey Duffy, principal, and representatives from Franklin D. Roosevelt School will present highlights from their inclusion efforts. So I'd like to invite everybody from FDR to come on up.
All right. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, Superintendent McCulloch and Board of Trustees. Tonight, we're proud to share how FDR is intentionally building a school where access, belonging, and independence are not extras, but expectations. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce and thank the team and students who help lead this work, Jewel Ocampo and Liam LaPlana. I think Jewel is not here yet, middle school. Our student teacher assistants, Stephanie Kanugi, our speech language pathologist, Wes Cole, who supports students as a SKIA and CSEA president, and Cade Nomoff, our school counselor. We're grateful for the leadership and heart they bring to this work and for the impact they have on our school community. Okay, let's get started. So at FDR, we serve about 280 students, and nearly 1 in 4 receives special education services. That data matters because it reminds us that diverse learning needs are not the exception, they are the norm. Because of this, we use universal design for learning and small group instruction in classrooms to plan proactively for variability. Our vision is grounded in dignity and independence. Through UDL, inclusive scheduling, and student mainstreaming into general education classes, we thoughtfully reduce barriers at our school. We prioritize autonomy, meaningful participation, and ensuring students are learning alongside peers whenever appropriate, academically and socially.
Inclusion doesn't happen by accident. Students with communication disorders are often unintentionally excluded from play and learning. Without explicit instruction, peers may misinterpret behaviors or communication needs. My role is to support students with access to communication tools and support their peers to help understand how to interact, support, and include others.
Building an inclusive school culture, inclusion shows up in daily routines. SKIA staff supports regulation, access, and independence across settings, classrooms, recess, lunch. We focus on fading adult support when possible and building peer connections, especially through cross-classroom interactions and shared activities.
These communication bracelets were provided to our TK through grade 3 Gen Ed students to support communication with our special needs peers, especially during times like recess and unstructured play. They give peers a shared language: help, stop, wait, give space, so all students can interact successfully. These tools reduce frustration, increase independence, and create more inclusive peer relationships. Tonight, we're sharing these with you as a symbol of how small supports can make a big difference in access and belonging.
Inclusion in action means students are learning together. We support mainstreaming into general education classrooms, school-wide events, and shared experiences. General education students sometimes serve as TAs in SCC classrooms, building leadership, empathy, and authentic peer relationships across ability levels. One example is playing board games and just peer-to-peer relationship building.
Hi, my name is Joel Ocampo, and I'm an 8th grade student at FDR. I'm a TA through 6th and 8th grade. I help students with learning activities, sometimes in small groups and sometimes in bigger groups. I help with reading, and I help students learn boundaries and personal space. During PE, I try to include as many people as possible in my class, regardless if they are an SDC student or not. I support my classmates by being a positive friend to everyone and sticking up for people when it's needed. Being a TA has helped me learn leadership skills, responsibility, and how important it is to be patient. FDR is special to me because I've been there for 8 years, and I have a kind and loving community around me. Inclusion matters to me because it's part of my everyday life, and I don't think it's fair to leave people out based on what they can and cannot do.
Hi, my name is Liam LaPlana, and I'm in 7th grade at FDR. I am a TA in the kindergarten through 3rd grade SDC classroom. Some of the activities I help with include reading to students, coloring, helping teachers with arts and crafts, walking students around campus, and helping during transitions outside. Some students in my grade level also have special needs. Since being a TA, I've learned I can support them by listening, being friendly, being a peer model, and including them. Being a TA has taught me to be more responsible, more patient, and to have empathy for people who are different from me. Inclusion matters to me because including people can make them feel good. FDR is special because there are many different kinds of people here, and everyone is nice.
Looking at the outcomes, we're seeing there have been stronger peer relationships, increased empathy, and better self-advocacy from our students. Things that have helped are bringing back peacemakers, which has helped students to feel more comfortable asking for help at recess and lunch, and has strengthened younger student relationships with our older elementary students. We also have our Student Advisory Council with 3 representatives from each class in 5th to 8th grade, and this offers a new outlet for student voices to be heard. These students will also be presenting the lower grade levels on certain topics like our recycling drive coming in April, further strengthening student relationships. And also things like the communication bracelets mentioned earlier, which multiple students have come up to tell me they've used with their classmates and at recess with other students, outside of using them with our SDC students. When students understand one another, behaviors decrease and belonging increases. Inclusion supports social emotional learning for all students, not just those receiving services. And looking at the data, this work aligns deeply with our SEL goals. Cross-classroom interactions, peer support, and explicit instruction and empathy create a school culture where students feel safe, valued, and connected, which are skills that extend far beyond the classroom. Comparing this year's panorama results to last year's, we have seen a huge jump in students' self-reported sense of belonging at FDR. Students from 3rd to 5th grade went from 56% to 85% in feeling that they are valued members of the school community, while our middle school students went from 52% to 78%.
FDR is a place where everyone belongs.
When we include each other and understand differences, school is better for everyone.
This is what makes FDR special.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Can I ask my fellow board members to give any questions or comments that they may have? And I'll start on my right.
I just want to say thank you for the presentation. You guys did so well. The information was just extremely clear and succinct. And so shout out to everyone that was involved and obviously to the students. You guys spoke so eloquently and vocally in terms of making sure that your voice was heard. I think what I heard throughout this was the fact that you guys are leading through service, which is so important because the younger students hopefully will grow up and do the same for children underneath them when they get to the 7th or the 8th grade, and the fact that that sense of belonging creates community, and that's something that you will take when you move on to high school for the 8th grader and obviously the 7th grader going into the 8th grade and obviously beyond there as well. So keep up the good work, and I look forward to hearing some more impressive things coming from FDR. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. I feel like this topic is never something that we should not talk about, especially in the community that we live in and the families that we serve. And so it's really nice to know that even at the youngest age, you guys are starting with not just awareness, but education and explaining to, you know, it's TK there, even to the youngest kids what that means, including them by using images. You know, they can't all read yet, but they know what these mean. And so being able to give them that kind of inclusion and access by allowing them to learn how to communicate with the students around them. So I'm really happy to see that the school is doing that. Especially to the middle schoolers, it's amazing that you guys are TAs. These kids have seen you grow up. You guys have been there for as many years that you have. And so to know that you are setting that example for the kids that look up to you and really living the values that you say that you're doing is really great for the kids to see and to know that you are doing what you say and saying what you do. So I love that for you guys. Middle school can be tough, can be hard, and you guys being strong and knowing what is right for humanity is really, really nice to see. Love seeing the data on those jumps on how people feel at school. And I also love your shirt and how it says FDR in a cool way. So shout out to your shirt too. Yeah. Thank you, FDR. That was great.
Thank you, Principal Duffy. Thank you to the teachers and staff here tonight. Thank you to the students who spoke so eloquently and their families for coming tonight. And I just love your theme of inclusion. That is so important. Obviously, a key theme at FDR and throughout our district. That sense of belonging, so important for all of us to remember. So great presentation, and we now have some certificates for our student speakers.
And so I have a certificate of appreciation for participation in the flag ceremony and special presentation to Liam Laplana.
And I have a certificate of appreciation for Jewel Marie Ocampo.
Thank you. Well, we are fortunate to have another special presentation from Thomas Edison School. And I'd like to invite Ms. Christina Sanchez, principal, and representatives from Thomas Edison School to present highlights from their Student Leaders for Equity.
Good evening, JESD board members, district administration, and everyone watching here from at home. And at home, I mean, not from home, you're not at home. My name is Christina Sanchez, and I'm proud to serve as the principal of Thomas Edison Elementary School. I'm also a proud parent of FDR, so thank you so much for all of the work you do at FDR and the impact you have on my kids as well. Tonight, it is my honor to introduce our Student Leaders for Equity, which includes our student leadership team and our Welcome Advisory team, our committee. I'd like to first recognize the staff who make this work possible. In the crowd, we have Mrs. Monica Gotay and Mrs. Vidar, who lead our student leadership team. They support our students with organizing school-wide events and just strengthening our school community. I'd also like to recognize Miss Nadia Guzman, our school counselor. Last year, or 2 years ago, she launched our Student Advisory Council, and that council elevates student voice around instruction, school climate, safety, and student life. And she expanded it this year to a Welcome Advisory Committee. She intentionally selected students who speak different languages, who are naturally welcoming, and they welcome new students who come from across the district, from across other cities, state, and around the world. When they come to Thomas Edison, we want them to feel a sense of belonging from day one. It is now my honor to turn it over to our student leaders.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for having us. Hello. These are the languages spoken by students and families at Thomas Edison. Tonight we are here to share how students help make our school a place where everyone belongs and can learn.
Hi, my name is Josephine. Some students come to school feeling confident. Some students come feeling scared. Some already know how school works. Some are learning everything for the first time. Equity means making sure every student gets what they need to succeed.
The student leadership team works to support our school community. We raise money for people who need help. We lead Kindness Week, Red Ribbon Week, Ruby Bridges Day, and Holiday Caroling. We do this because leadership is not about being in charge. It is about helping others feel seen and valued. We help create a positive school culture where students feel proud of who they are and where they come from.
When students feel welcome, they learn better. When students feel safe, they try harder. School is not just about academics, it is about belonging. Belonging helps students show up, take risks, and believe in themselves.
The Welcome Advisory Committee supports students who are new to Thomas Edison. New students don't always know where to go, which bathroom to use, or who to sit with. Sometimes they don't even know how to ask for help. We give tours, we sit with them at lunch, and we help them make friends. Our job is to make sure students are not left behind socially or emotionally just because they are new.
Every student can be a leader. You don't need a title to help someone. You just need kindness. That is how we build equity at our school, one student at a time.
Good evening. My name is Genesis. I came to Thomas Edison in 3rd grade. I was scared. I was excited. I didn't know much of English. What helped me was finding someone in my class who speaks Spanish, someone who could explain things to me, someone who made me feel safe. In 4th grade, 3 new students from Central America joined my class. One student cried every day. I understand how he feels because I remember what it was like to be new students. So my friends and I welcomed him. We showed him which bathroom to use. We taught him how to play tetherball. We gave him a tour of the school. He have to leave our school suddenly, but the other 2 students and I became close friends. And since then, we had also welcomed new friends from other countries. Being part of the Welcome Advisory Community matters to me because I know how hard it is to start over. We want every student to feel safe. We want every student to feel included. We want every student to feel they belong here.
This year, we have not had many new students from other countries, but we are ready. We already made welcome letters. We already made welcome pins. And we are waiting, waiting to welcome the next student, waiting to show them around, waiting to tell them, belong here.
Thank you. It is also, today is Thomas Edison's birthday. He would be 179 years old. And we have Tommy the Tiger here, who's our school mascot, and we brought cupcakes for everybody as well.
Wow, an amazing presentation and cupcakes. Thank you so much. I would like to ask my fellow trustees for any questions or comments that they have, and I'll start on my left this time.
Hi, Thomas Edison. My kids go to this school too, and so I do love this school. I didn't know, obviously my kids are here, they're very small, so I didn't actually know that these committees existed. And I'm glad to know that they do. And I loved hearing your personal story about coming in third grade, because I was writing down before you said that going to a new school at second, third, fourth grade is actually a worry for a lot of parents, because they're at an age where, you're not little enough to not remember, but you're old enough to know that you're coming into a place that is unfamiliar territory, and you're conscious and aware of new eyes on you. So I loved hearing that personal story of how the welcoming committee came and made you feel comfortable in your own native language and helped you grow and help you feel like you belonged in a place so that you can thrive as a student. So yeah, I don't mind me over here, don't have much to say, but the other part of it is the kids chosen are great kids. I know a handful of them personally, and so I love seeing that we're able to use their natural talents and their warmness and their friendliness to make other kids feel as though they belong. So I am proud as well to be a Thomas Edison mom.
Thank you for that presentation. I was trying not to cry throughout some of it, mostly because those stories resonate so well with me. When I was 7 years old, I moved out of the United States to another country, and it was really hard for me to fit in. I was like, I'm gonna learn the language. I'm gonna figure out how to fit in. If I had a committee like yours that was ready with letters and a welcome banner, I probably would not have been focused on trying to fit in, and I would have just focused on my studies. So what you're doing is allowing the children to come in and feel like they belong, so that they can focus on other things like learning the language, learning the different classes that they have to go to, versus like, oh my gosh, are they gonna like me? Is someone gonna tell me where to go? And so you are doing life-changing things just by showing up for someone else and being kind to them. It's so important, and hopefully you take that as you go on. You have no idea, like again, I said I'm trying not to get emotional here, but someone that experienced it, I'm just so happy and proud to see that that's something that you guys are doing in your school. So keep it up, and I look forward to hearing more successful things coming from Thomas Edison. Thank you.
Thank you. I certainly echo the sentiments of my fellow trustees. That was a really incredible presentation. You all spoke so well. I love that you are a team. I loved your poster. And I loved your message most of all. We heard about inclusion from FDR. You are absolutely representing inclusion with this committee, making everybody feel welcome, especially new people. And you beautifully, said what equity is, helping every student get what they need. So I'm so glad that you are leading the way at Thomas Edison. Thank you for doing that. And so happy that this program and committee exists. So with that, we have some certificates for our speakers tonight. Start on my left.
I have a certificate of appreciation for Josephine Yamaguchi. I have another certificate of appreciation for Bethany Latoza. And I have another certificate of appreciation for Luke Guillermo Garcia.
And I have a certificate of appreciation for Genesis Ileana Martinez Sandoval. And for Audrey Lynn Wilson.
And I have a certificate of appreciation for Carly Wong. And a certificate of appreciation for Katie Wang. Okay. Well, thank you again for those wonderful presentations, FDR and Thomas Edison community. And I would like to invite you to stay for the rest of the meeting, or I would like to invite you to go home if you need to. It's late and school day, school night. So if you need to, please feel free to get going at this time. And thank you so much again for those outstanding presentations.
If I may, if you would actually want to stay for just a couple minutes for board comments and superintendent comments, you can hear updates, and then maybe you can head out after that, maybe 5 more minutes. Is that okay?
Sorry, I'm new. Okay, so we now have board member acknowledgements and commendations, and I will start on I do just want to add that we were instructed to give a synopsis, our thoughts on the recent board governance workshop, and I'd suggest that we make those comments at the end, our closing comments. But I'll start on my right.
Well, number one, I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight and supporting your children, and then all the children for being here and speaking so well and supporting your schools. I want to say, we're talking about inclusion and equity. Happy Black History Month. There are going to be a lot of different things happening around the community, and I encourage everyone to join in and learn about another culture, food, music, anything that's happening around your community. And then also Valentine's Day is coming up. I think some schools probably exchange little gifts, so hoping you guys enjoy kind of all of the festivities coming up. And I believe, I'm sure this is going to be in superintendent comments, next week is President's Week, so enjoy the break as well. It's like actually, I think Valentine's Day just keeps going. So you're going to just have some good, loving time with your family. And I hope you guys enjoy that.
I'm going to use what I've learned. I echo what my fellow trustee Jordan has said regarding all of the great things coming up. I also wanted to mention that I have heard from a few families and parents in the community just expressing concern of what's going on in the world around us, especially these last few weeks. We do live in a very diverse community, but it is getting closer to home, as we've seen. I know if everybody watches the news. So I did get some comments and some concerns about just what's happening, and I did express them with Superintendent McCulloch. So first, thank you for being open and trusting us with your concerns. I also want to let you know they were heard, they have been passed along, and I think that's it. And good job, kids. This is still seriously my favorite part. Like, it's my favorite part. So good job, parents, because you raised great kids too. And teachers for teaching great kids. Just thank you, everybody.
I want to highlight two wonderful school events that I had the opportunity to attend. First of all, this past Saturday, I had the chance to go to the JESD District Science Fair, and I want to thank Ms. Aubrey Duffy, Principal Aubrey Duffy, for her leadership on that, as well as Principal Melissa Meisel and Assistant Principal John Hopkins of Fernando Rivera for hosting us. And it was just a great morning. We had a lot of different presentations on all sorts of experiments involving bacteria, involving motion, involving, it was just great to see the science at work. Every project had a hypothesis, and it was great to see the discovery in place of whether it was proven, disproven, or inconclusive. So thanks to everybody involved with the science fair. I also had the chance to watch my child perform at Fernando Rivera last week performance of Never Say Neverland, which was done through Kidstock. And this is an example of a great after-school enrichment activity that we have. They did drama with the students for 12 weeks every week. And the students from Fernando Rivera just did an exceptional job. And this is just an example of something that's happening throughout the district. We have other drama programs, we have sports programs, we have science programs, and so I'd like to thank everybody involved with that. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Superintendent McCulick for her comments.
Yes, thank you. So I just want to thank all of the families that are here tonight, all the students, all the staff from both FDR and Thomas Edison. You are why I do what I do. So thank you for that, both presentations. Our vision is welcoming, engaging, safe schools, and what you shared was modeling that in perfectly. I am very thrilled about our STEM fair. I unfortunately was unable to make it. Obviously, I'm recovering from being ill, but I want to also thank Principal Duffy and Vice Principal John Hopkins, who coordinated the event, as well as the sites that helped host. Just to let families know, there is a family safety night tomorrow night at MP Brown, and it is with the police department and Safe Routes to School, just to make sure that we are connecting with our community resources on how to make sure going to and from school is safe, the safe routes, especially crosswalks and things like that. So we invite you to come. Dinner will be served from 5 to 5:30, and then there will be some engaging presentations and even some tricycles and things, and the police department are going to be there with some resources and things to show. Also, next week is President's Week, so thank you for sharing that. Black History Month as well for February. And then due to the holiday for next week and lack of agenda items, we are canceling the February 25th board meeting, so our next meeting will be March 11th. That's all I have. So families, now, we just wanted you to hear announcements. Now you may, if you need to leave, you may leave. Thank you.
All right. This portion of the agenda is for persons wishing to address the board on any issue under the board's jurisdiction and not on the agenda. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is usually 2 minutes. Ms. Kovarai, do we have any public comments?
There are none.
Okay. We now move to the consent agenda. Items listed under the Consent agenda. Now I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda. I guess I should ask first, are there any items to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second the motion?
Ms. Covray, this is a roll call vote.
Ms. Jordan,
Aye.
Ms. Policarpio, Mr. Rashba.
Aye. Okay, the motion passes. So we move on to Section 8 and the 2025 CSBA Delegate Assembly election. The board will select up to 3 candidates to be considered as delegates to the CSBA Delegate Assembly. And I would like to ask if there's discussion of any of the candidates.
There are only 2 candidates, so unless you want to, I guess, a write-in, but there is Chelsea Bonini and Terry Chavez are the 2 candidates that are up for nomination. So if you can either nominate both of them, you can nominate just one if you want to, but you can nominate up to 3. There's only 2, but all of them, basically there's a spot for all of them, so you can nominate all of them. And so that's really your decision of if you want to nominate or not.
And I believe that these are re-election, right? Both of the candidates have served previously.
Yes.
I know both of these candidates, and I believe the last time that we did this, I recommended both, so I'm recommending both.
I will second that. Do I hear a motion to approve the 2 CSBA candidates?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Item 9, the Local Control Accountability Plan Mid-Year Report. This is an informational item, and I'd like to ask Ms. Pamela Scott, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, to provide the board with a mid-year report on the plan for the 2024 to 2027 LCAP, Local Control Accountability Plan. Sure. We'll take a brief pause. No. Just thought maybe she could use my computer, but the projector.
We apologize for the technical delay.
There we go.
Yeah, because we do need color.
Thank you. My name is Josie Peterson, Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, and I'll be presenting with Ms. Scott. So the purpose is for us to provide an update for the budget overview for parents and also available mid-year outcome data related to metrics and expenditures identified in the 2025-26 LCAP. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of the impact of the budget overview for parents. This is really a recap of our first interim budget report that we reviewed with the board in December. The first column is our adopted budget, and we're comparing that now to our first interim report. When you look at the revenues, we did have a slight increase in our LCFF revenues, and that's mainly due to our special education apportionments. There was a very small change in federal revenue, and also we did have the largest increase was in other state revenues, and that's mainly due to our expanded learning opportunity program revenues and the new student support professional development discretionary funds grant. And there was also some slight increases in transportation, lottery, universal PK/TK, and the new learning communities for school success grant. And these were the items we reviewed during our first interim. Along with the revenues, there was also a corresponding increase in expenditures, again, because of our expanded learning opportunity grant and the new discretionary block grant. So very quickly, just to go through the 3 LCAP goals, and I know Ms. Scott is going to go into this in much more detail, but what we're showing here is for each goal, we show what was our budgeted expenditures and where are we during our mid-year update, which was our first interim. So for goal 1, we're very close. Actually, with all 3 goals, we're very close to what we anticipated. It was $54.4 million, and mid-year, $53.5 million. For goal 2, again, very close, our budgeted expenditures versus where we are now, $5.6 million to $5.3 million. And then in goal 3, again, very close, $6.8 million to $6.5 million. So very brief, just kind of an overview, so I can go ahead and let Ms. Scott go through the details.
All right, so this next section connects our LCAP goals directly to teaching and learning. So we begin with the California dashboard because it provides a broad picture of how our district is performing over time. The dashboard uses color levels from red, meaning the lowest performance, to blue, the highest performance, to show how districts are doing across academics, attendance, and other key measures. This year, none of our indicators are in the lowest category. Yay. Come on, woo! Very exciting. So most areas are in the mid to higher ranges, showing steady growth across the system. And then when we look at trends over the past 3 years, we see steady improvement. Fewer areas are in the lower performance levels, and more are moving into the mid and higher levels. This positive shift is evident in both academic results and engagement measures like attendance and suspensions, confirming that we are moving in the right direction. With that context, we'll now move into Goal 1, which focuses on helping every student succeed through a coordinated system of support. This work is directly shaped by feedback from staff, students, and families. At the center of it all is making sure every student receives strong, high-quality teaching in their regular classroom every day. So to show how that feedback translated into action, the next slide highlights what we heard and what we did in response. We heard that pacing and expectations felt unclear. Goals needed to be practical and specific to each school, and assessment data wasn't consistently helping teachers adjust instruction. So in response, we gave grade level teams the agency to identify what could be reduced or combined across subjects, so instruction can focus on depth rather than coverage. We visited classrooms to observe teaching and learning in action and used what we saw to help each school set practical site-specific goals. We also strengthened how teachers use assessment data during daily instruction to better meet students' needs. After clarifying what strong classroom teaching looks like, the next step is investing in our educators. Goal 2 is about providing meaningful training and support so teachers can continue to grow and better serve students. This is an area where we made a purposeful shift. Teachers told us that training needed to be more practical and better timed, that they wanted more choice and meaningful collaboration, and that the new middle school math program required deeper support. In response, we offered optional learning sessions based on topics teachers identified, built-in focused collaboration time on non-student days, and increased hands-on support for the new math program. Academic success doesn't happen on its own. Goal 3 recognizes that students learn best when they feel safe, connected, and supported, and when adults have clear, consistent systems in place. This goal also reflects our commitment to strong partnerships with families as part of creating a positive and supportive school environment. This slide shows what we heard from staff and families and how we have responded. We heard that student behavior has become more complex, that staff want clearer and more consistent approaches, and that families value opportunities to learn, connect, and be involved. In response, we strengthened our approach to restorative practices, gathered additional feedback from teachers to better understand behavior needs, and expanded parent education nights to support families in understanding how we meet diverse needs in our classrooms. This slide provides our first academic progress update of the year. From fall to winter, more students are meeting grade level expectations in both reading and math, and fewer students are in the highest need category. These shifts suggest that stronger classroom instruction and more targeted support are beginning to make a difference. We will continue to monitor progress through spring. We close this section by looking at student feedback. In grades 3 through 5, students are reporting stronger feelings of belonging and improvements in school climate, along with steady perceptions of their learning experiences. And in grades 6 through 8, we see similar trends. Students are reporting stronger feelings of belonging and improvements in school climate, along with steady views of their learning experiences. Overall, these results reflect our focus on prevention, connection, and clear systems, and show that our academic efforts and school climate work are supporting one another. So taken together, the data point in the same direction. We are seeing steady progress, and our actions remain aligned to stakeholder feedback. While the work continues, the focus on strong teaching, educator support, and positive school climate is clearly moving us forward. So I'm open to any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Thank you, Ms. Scott, for the presentation. And I would like to now start on my left if there are any questions.
I did have a question going into, but I think it answered along the way. But just to confirm, the what we heard, part of the feedback was directly from teachers and staff, or students as well.
On all 3 goals, or
Yes.
Yes, we do. Primarily, staff are the primary feeders of a lot of the action steps that we take, and then families also contribute to actions under Goal 3, and students as well. We collect information from them through various different groups.
Okay, great. Thank you. I love seeing what we heard and then how we responded, and each one correlated to what you heard. And so I think a lot of speaking up is knowing that you are heard and then seeing what the action was. And so I appreciated it being presented that way to show that, you know, the words didn't fall on deaf ears and there was actions taken. And to piggyback off that, I love all the data that followed to show what that impact was. I saw lots of greens, lots of ups, not a lot of, no reds, no negatives. And so there's one thing that you can't refute, and it's data. You can say things until you're blue in the face, but if data is proving something, then that's what you go with. And so it's really good to see that contrary to what, might be said at times or whatever, like the data points are proving it. And I'm really happy to see that. So congratulations, yay.
Thank you for the presentation. I have two questions. One is, and maybe a comment. One is on the survey. I remember the last time that we talked about this. I think there was confusion on like what sense of belonging or safety meant, and I think we redid some things or clarified some things, and so I guess I'm happy to see the increase and the greatest increase with sense of belonging, especially in school safety, especially in the environment we're in now, that our families and our children feel okay irregardless of what's happening outside. So that's really good. Do you know what we did? Is it just clarification? Like, how did we help move this up?
I think it's a variety of different pieces. So I know schools are working really hard to, one, make sure the students understand what the questions mean, how to respond, because when you're on a Likert scale, it could be how you're feeling that day. So trying to have a bigger picture of not just in that moment, but kind of a broader sense when you reply. And I want to say, like, Stephanie Martinez and her counseling team also are very focused on ensuring students feel a sense of connection and belonging. They work very hard to create activities and structures on the campus to support that. And our administrators and teachers are also focused, right? Because without that, you can't get to the level of teaching that we need them to. So I think they all contribute to.
So it sounds like we're all rowing in the right direction.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the last question I have is on the feedback that we got on the LCAP goals and how we responded, which is great. How have we received any feedback on how we've responded and how that's helping?
Anecdotally, yes. I think we continue to collect a broad range of information through surveys and then share the results from those surveys and all the responses that we collect as a way to build in transparency and trust. And then we've had a variety of different committees that will look at that survey to create action plans. I think as a cabinet, we meet with our union leaders, and there's trust and a lot of discussions that happen in that space as well to share different perspectives and how we're responding. And I think a lot of it is just communication in a lot of different ways so that people hear the message many times. Sometimes there aren't really easy solutions to these complex problems. So I think it's important to bring as many people to the table as possible. Because there aren't easy, right? There aren't easy solutions. So I think the more people you have to think through things and have a think tank, the better the results you get and the more trust you develop.
100%. I think my question hopefully did not come off as like, oh, did we make everyone happy? Because the reality is that in any type of organization, there is no way that everyone is going to get what they want. We have to focus on the greatest impacts in the majority, and so my question was more in line with, are we still getting feedback, and how are we addressing that? And obviously, everything is not easy, especially with the constraints that we have, and making sure that we are communicating in a way that allows our staff and our teams to understand that we hear them, and we're working towards it the best that we can, which is what I heard. So
yes,
thank you.
Yeah, and it's an ongoing challenge with so many different variables or people in the system to make sure that everybody hears that we are open. We want people to communicate with us, and we want people to help problem solve because we don't all have the right answers or the answers. So.
Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
If I may just chime in, Ms. Scott has facilitated, I don't know how many committees she's facilitating right now, but she continues to, there's a need, let's form a committee, and then pulls all these people together to help address an issue that's rising. So she has really taken on a lot of this work herself to facilitate those open lines of communication. So I want to commend her for that and thank her for that.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Great presentation. The two questions I have are really around providing some context. First on slide 9 with the dashboard results, I wanted you to comment on where we had been and, if you can, where other schools in the area are, or how we stand up in these dashboard measures.
I haven't looked at other districts. So if you remember, I think it was 2 years ago, our district was identified by San Mateo County for differentiated assistance because we had so many indicators in the red. Last year we saw improvement. This is the first year that we don't see any red, which shows that there's growth. Like the CASP test is single measurement of time, and this is really showing how groups in different categories are showing growth, even if they're not, crossing a threshold on CASP. I think it's really remarkable to have our suspension rate in green, our chronic absenteeism in yellow. I know we've worked so hard to make sure students are at school, and it looks like all the efforts of everybody to do that is paying off. I don't know. I just think it shows that we're progressing along the right path.
Yeah, that was my sense as well. And, I haven't looked lately, but I know that many schools are in the red and the orange. So it is exceptional growth that we've achieved. I also wanted to go to the slide 18 and 18 and 19, just with the panorama survey results, and confirm that those numbers, 26, is that increase of 26% in sense of belonging in 3 through 5, and 6 to 8, 39% increase in belonging and climate?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to call that out. That's really exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And really speaks to what our student presentations were all about, fostering that sense of belonging and climate. So I, would echo my fellow trustees and what they said. And I mean, the message I would want to deliver to the administration is to keep it up and don't let down. We have these are really impressive results, and I thank you for all your hard work in making them happen, both academically and in terms of our climate. I think sometimes we look at declining enrollment in our district, and I'm quick to say that it's not like it's because our performance is down. On the contrary, it's greater factors that largely account for that, but our performance is way up overall. But we have to operate in a spirit of continued improvement, and to get to 70% of proficiency on our CASP results is really lofty goals. So we definitely have ways to go. And to Trustee Jordan's point, I do want to acknowledge that we had some teachers and staff that gave some criticism and wanted us to hear, some of the things that they were dealing with. I think that's really important feedback. I know that you have been meeting with them and hearing everybody out, so I would ask you to keep doing that work. And I really, echoing your point, I like the format of, what we heard and how we're responding, and that's just a constant process. So thank you.
I want to thank everyone in the district who is actively working every single day to make the shifts and improvements. I think Dina, Conti, and I get to do our learning walks, visit 2 school sites a week for this whole year, and we have the most amazing students. We walk away every single school and go, oh my gosh, these kids are just amazing. So I just want to echo that we have incredible schools, amazing children, and I'm really grateful to be here.
Thank you. All right. Next item, talking about contracted services, and this is for Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula and pertaining to Camp Jeff. This item was originally on the consent agenda. I wanted to pull it off to just highlight again the incredible summer opportunities that we have. The administration is recommending approval of a contract with Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula for the summer program at Daniel Webster, Susan B. Anthony, and Woodrow Wilson schools for Camp Jeff summer program for an amount not to exceed $385,425. This program will be funded by ELOP. Does anybody from the district want to say anything about Camp Jeff?
No, I accept that. I want to thank, I see her in the audience, Jennifer LaRocque, our program director of expanded learning and staff supports. She is the mastermind behind Camp Jeff. She's been working in the summer program with the Big Lift for a long time, and based on that experience and her extensive knowledge, she has created a really impressive program. And so we're really excited to continue. This is year 2 of Camp Jeff. Year 2 of Camp Jeff, and it just keeps getting better and better. So I just want to thank her and all of the everyone who takes part in it, and all of our partners too that work with us, like Boys and Girls Club, for supporting our students in the summer programming.
Thank you, Ms. LaRocque. Thank you to everyone involved. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve this item.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Similarly, Galileo Learning contract, the administration recommends approval of Galileo Learning contract for Camp Jeff 2026 summer programming at the middle school level for Thomas R. Policita for an amount not to exceed $325,550. This program will be funded by ELOP, similarly for Camp Jeff at the middle school level. Any comments, discussions, questions on this item? Hearing.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Wonderful. So now we move to Chromebooks, CDWG Chromebook. The administration recommends approval of the purchase of Chromebooks for all middle schools, not to exceed the amount I have is $314,000. We have an exciting update, I believe, on that. But this purchase supports our LCAP goal of providing one-to-one technology for all of our students to support student learning and is funded from the technology budget. Pricing is based on the Sourcewell cooperative agreement. I also recommended that we pull this item off just to call out that the investment in technology that we are making, I think it's very much aligned with some of the positive results that we saw in terms of academic performance. And Superintendent McCulloch, I'd like to turn it over to you for our update.
Yes, so we have great news. Well, the Chromebooks that were on the agenda when this was first published are no longer available, so we needed to pivot to a similar product, and it actually saved us some money. So I want to thank our Director of Technology and Curriculum Integration, Tony Baroni, she's here as well, for always being due diligent with making sure that we are getting the best deal and making sure that our students are ready for the real world and beyond with the technology and having that in their hands. So yeah, so the new price is $900. Sorry, I've got still a little clogged head here. $294,961.63 as the new price. So about 15,000. No, 20,000. About 20,000 cost savings on that one as well.
Great. Well, thank you, Ms. Baroni, for all your work on serving the technology needs of our students and our district, and for your efforts and everybody else in the district of constantly looking for ways to save us money in this era of tight budgets. So, any other questions, comments, discussion?
I have a question. the upkeep of these Chromebooks, are they budgeted for? Like, what does that look like?
Yes, so part of we have a technology reserve, and so that helps us that's why this is an annual purchase, because there is a cycle with these. And so we do have the technology reserve that we set aside to refill on occasion, just to make sure that we always have funds to pay for Chromebooks, because, they don't last all that long, so.
And then I have one other question, sorry. For the elementary school students in the 5th grade, when they move on to 6th, if they're changing schools, do they get to take that Chromebook with them, or is it provided to them when they go to their next school?
So I'm going to lean on Ms. Baroni for a moment, but I believe in the 5th grade, it is a classroom set. And then so that is used in the classroom and classroom purposes. It doesn't go home. And then in 6th grade, they can check it out to go home, or it's mainly kept in the classrooms now. Is that correct? That's correct. Can I actually have you go to the microphone so the public can hear you as well? Thank you.
Yes, what Ms. McCulloch said was correct. All the devices stay at the school. So we do have devices for 5th grade, and they stay in carts in the classrooms. Students can take them home as they need to if they have work they need to complete, and that's kind of at the discretion of the 5th grade teachers. And this is our first year we moved to carts in 6th grade. So students just have technology available in all of their classrooms. 7th and 8th still have that one-to-one model. But by moving 6th grade to the classroom, we're able to extend the life of the technology. So we'll start to see a decrease in what we're purchasing annually, because we'll be able to keep devices for longer.
And that's the reason why I asked the first question, so the second question helps out. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And that made me think about a question about, and you just kind of reiterated on the life expectancy of Chromebooks with kids of this age. Like, is there a program or a promissory note that these kids sign that say, I will not throw my Chromebook while it's in my backpack?
But you know what? They still do. So we're working on that.
Okay.
They do sign that they won't do things, but they do happen sometimes still. So we're working on ways to mitigate that with the middle school administration of just when they have access. A big thing we instituted this year was just not at lunch, so they can do other things like play and run and talk to their friends. And we found that was a lot of breakage when they're just not super careful with their backpacks, and so they just kind of like throw it and go play basketball, and that's when a lot of damage happens. So we're definitely trying to mitigate some of the problem spots that we had.
Thank you.
Yep.
With that, I'd like to entertain a motion on item 9D.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. All right. Agenda item 10, certificated personnel, the declaration of need for fully qualified educators in the 26-27 school year. The California Commission on Teacher Credentialing requires the governing board to vote annually to approve the attached declaration of need, certifying that there may be an insufficient number of certificated persons. Do I have any discussion on this item? Okay. Well, with that, I will entertain a motion on this item.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes. Okay. January 2026 CSBA Board Policy Special Updates. We're having a first reading and waiving the second reading. CSBA has released AR 1445 response to immigration enforcement in January 2026 to reflect these changes. required changes, and the administration recommends that the board review, revise as needed, and approve board policies and administrative regulations from the January 2026 CSBA Board Policy Special Updates at first reading and waive the second reading in order to meet the March 1st, 2026 compliance deadline.
Yes, so new law went into effect, and so these policy updates reflect that new law. Two policies were removed because they were put in a different area. And so in order to meet, since we canceled the February 25th meeting, in order to meet the March 1st deadline, we are asking that we waive the second reading, which is typical for policies, and we are within our rights and allowed to do that. If we choose not to waive the second reading and have the second reading, it will be in March 11th, which is beyond the deadline, but that is the choice of the board. It's a policy, and we can get it up as soon as possible once that is approved. But this is advised by California School Boards Association, CSBA, and so we recommend that we follow the policy vetted by their lawyers and that meets the state requirement and the law.
Any discussion or questions on this item?
Motion to approve?
Second the motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Just for clarity, this is a motion to approve the first and second reading? Okay.
Yep. All right, and that takes us to governance team member comments, reports, and future agenda items and board meeting reflection. And at this point, I would ask the board members to say anything about our recent board governance retreat, which took place 2 Saturdays ago, January 31st. And I will start on my right.
I want to say thank you to my fellow board members for showing up. I'm sorry, Superintendent McCulloch, you couldn't join us. I hope you are feeling better. But I also want to thank Ms. Scott for stepping in because her insights were very helpful and for us to move forward with a lot of the things that we did discuss. So this is my 6th year, I think, on the board, and every single year we have those governance workshops. I feel invigorated. It's like a reminder of why we do this, why we get to keep our focus on the students. A lot of the work that we do in the background, it tends to go unnoticed, except unless we're on, a regular board meeting. And so being there with fellow board trustees, talking through our goals, talking through why what we do matters, also figuring out how our working styles was super important, especially as we added a new board member who is, still trying to, I would say probably drinking from a fire hose with all the information that she's ingesting. And I think that it was very productive, and we came out with some action items and homework for ourselves. And I'm excited for how that manifests in our work that we do in our regular meetings. And so with that, I think we had talked about future agenda items, and one of them, I believe, was a part of our homework, which is bringing back up board goals, and then going through our handbook and taking it in bite-sized chunks to update to ensure that it is reflective of our board in its current state. So I'm excited to do that work with my fellow trustees.
Thank you. Trustee Policarpio?
Yeah, that was a very productive Saturday for me. As Trustee Jordan mentioned, I'm a new trustee, and it was necessary for me to just, I see them for an hour or two once or twice a month and exchange pleasantries, but that was an opportunity to actually sit down and get to know them more, get to know their learning style more, get to know how we gel as a board more. And it was really nice to be able to see that, because I think there is a lot of alignment in the direction we want to go in and how we want to do that together as a United Front to be able to serve our students especially. And so I did mention to them that the thing that I always hear at every board meeting and from each one of them is that our students are first. And so to hear that and to hear all of the years that especially Trustee Ali has been on board, and then Trustee Jordan, and then everybody. And so it's really nice to know that after all of these years that there is still that love for education, public education, and supporting the students in the community. So I enjoyed that very much. I am still invigorated. I guess I was never uninvigorated, but I'm really excited to just be here, as you can tell by all of my extraneous comments every single time. But I am enjoying my time and enjoying that we seeing these kids. And that's what I wanted to say, that I love that every single school that has come up has taken a different approach of what they want to present, from art to include to also all the things to their sustainability in the schools. And so it's really nice to see that not every student or school that comes up and represented is talking about the exact same topic. So love that.
Thank you. I very much echo the sentiments of my fellow trustees. And first, I'll just say that those were two exceptional student presentations or school-wide presentations, I thought, from FDR and Thomas Edison. So I really want to, again, compliment their leadership still here, and all the students, teachers, counselors, staff, families for coming out and speaking so well. And the governance retreat, I can't say any more other than that I felt that it was an extremely productive conversation, just a chance to think deeper, to build relationships, to have more extended discussions, to strategize. I want to thank Assistant Superintendent Scott for supporting us, and Lynette Hodson for leading us. One other thing that we did at the governance retreat is we did do an update on the work thus far of the Superintendent's Budget and Facilities Advisory Committee, which I have been honored to be a part of, and we're about midway through meeting and learning and getting very important feedback from our community about the important issues that we have. In the LCAP presentations, we were reminded of the structural deficit that we have of almost $10 million. And this is going to be difficult work addressing this, but we kind of went over progress thus far at the retreat, and there was also another committee meeting this past a week ago, Wednesday, February 4th, and we went through contracted services, which is an item that the committee members said that they wanted to focus on, and we got feedback of ranked 1 to 3 of contracted services in terms of what is absolutely essential, what is ranging from that to a nice to have. So this is going to be really valuable feedback as we look at all of this data, face this deficit, and have to make the difficult decision of how to address that. So that is that's what I have. Thanks for making it easy on me in my first time presiding over a board meeting. It was fun. And so we now move to persons wishing to address the board on closed session items. This portion of the agenda is available for individuals to comment on or address the board on an item addressed in closed session. The maximum time allowed for any speaker is 2 minutes. Ms. Covere, do we have any speakers?
There are none.
Okay. So with that, I am going to close the meeting with a moment of silence, and we are adjourning in memory of Orlando Tubig Dungo, the father of Jocelyn Grabasio, who is administrative assistant in the Information Technology Department. We will now convene to closed session after a 5-minute recess, and I will convene this portion of the meeting at 8:20 p.m. Thank you.